So we're gonna be watching Food Expiration Dates Don't Mean What You Think by Caroline Beans and Ted. To me, it's sort of funny that wasting food is not taboo.
How much of the food in your fridge will you toss before it reaches the table? Hamburger buns from last summer's picnic, milk past its sell-by date, carrots that lost their crunch. Countries around the world waste huge amounts of food every year, and the United States is one of the worst offenders.
Yeah.
37% of U.S. food waste comes from individual households.
Oh, I thought we
And
got
roughly 20% of those food items are tossed because
Dunkin'
consumers
Donuts.
aren't sure how to interpret the dates they're labeled with. But most of those groceries are still perfectly safe to eat.
That is a big thing with like Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts throws away like their whole stack of like donuts and then night, and then they don't really even give it away or anything. They just toss it straight to the garbage, and they're pretty much still perfectly good because they make it the same day.
So if the dates on our food don't tell us that something's gone bad, what do they tell us? Before the 20th century, the path between where food was produced and where it was eaten was much more direct. And most people knew how to assess freshness using sight, smell, and touch. But when supermarkets began stocking processed foods, product ages became harder to gauge. In the US, grocers used packaging codes to track how long food had been on the shelves. And in the 1970s, consumers demanded in on that info. Many supermarkets adopted a system still in place today called open dating, where food manufacturers or retailers labeled products with dates indicating optimum freshness. This vague metric had nothing to do with expiration dates or food safety. In fact, it's rarely decided with any scientific backing, and there are usually no rules around what dates to use. So most manufacturers and retailers are motivated to set these dates early, ensuring customers will taste their food at its best and come back for more.
Oh shit.
This means many foods are safe to eat far beyond their labeled dates. Old cookies, pasta, and other shelf-stable groceries might taste stale, but they aren't a health risk. Canned foods can stay safe for years, so long as they don't show signs of bulging or rusting. Low freezer temperatures keep
Okay, I'll do
bacteria that
something
cause
new.
food poisoning in check, preserving properly stored frozen dinners indefinitely. Refrigerated eggs are good for up to 5 weeks, and if they spoil, your nose will let you know. And you can always spot spoiled produce by off odors, slimy surfaces, and mold. Of course, there are some cases where you're better safe than sorry. The USDA recommends eating or freezing meat within days of purchase. Beyond their printed dates, ready-to-eat salads, deli meats, and unpasteurized cheeses are more likely to carry pathogenic bacteria that can slip past a smell or taste test. And the dates on infant formula are regulated to indicate safety. But while some of these labels work as intended, the vast majority don't. In a 2019 survey of over 1,000 Americans, more than 70% said they use date labels to decide if food is still edible. And nearly 60% said they'd toss any food past those dates.
That is one of the big things that I do, mainly for like things that like get bad pretty quickly. For example, bread. I'm not sure how long bread lasts, but once there has been like 3 days past the best by date, I just throw it away because I just thought that that's the time that I expired. And eating it like a day or like 2 or 3 days like later, you'll still be fine, but it just started to like age very quickly.
And grocers often do the same. To avoid all this waste, many experts advocate for laws to require that date labels use one of 2 standardized phrases. Best if used by, to indicate freshness, or use by, to indicate safety. This solution isn't perfect, but some U.S. researchers estimate that setting these standards at a federal level could prevent roughly 398,000 tons of food waste annually. Grocers could also try removing date labels on produce, as several UK supermarket chains have done to encourage consumers to use their own judgment. Many experts also advocate for policies incentivizing grocers and restaurants to donate unsold food. Currently, confusion around dates has led at least 20 U.S. states to restrict donating food past its labeled date, even though the federal government actually protects such donations. Countries like France go even further, requiring that many supermarkets donate unsold food. Regardless of
shit.
what your government
That's smart for
decides, the
France.
best way to prevent food waste is to eat what you buy. And don't forget that your eyes, nose, and tongue are usually all you need to decide if food is fit for consumption or the compost bin.
She's right. You can tell after a certain age. You're able to tell like, all right, this is bad, this is good. If I should eat this or not, because it would most likely be moldy. It'd be like white, green, slimy, or it would just pretty much smell bad. Or like the containers for like I don't know juices or stuff like that. It would be like squished, like the same thing as cans. It'd be like kind of like squished, so that's how you know it's bad. Cause it's pretty much busted at that point. But yeah, honestly, amazing video. And yeah, I didn't know that we wasted that much food just being thrown out because of the best states.